Hello everyone, my name is Logan Reedy, and tonight I'm going to be presenting to you my presentation on private institutions for my EDUC 611 course, which is Educational Theory. The outline for the presentation is as follows. We're going to start with an introduction, give you a little bit of background about myself and about why I chose my topic. Then we're going to get into some leadership styles that have been observed in private institutions and their strengths and weaknesses, as well as the organizational structure that has been observed the most in private institutions. And then we're going to dive into some leadership roles that fall into those leadership styles that we've talked about. And then I'm going to hit you all with some closing remarks. As I previously stated, I wanted to give a little introduction, let you all know why I picked the topic I did, and wanted to dive a little bit more into my connection to this topic. So for this project, we were tasked with selecting a form of institution in higher education and diving a little bit more into how it operates and why it operates the way it does. For this, I chose private institutions because I am thoroughly connected to this subject. I am currently employed at my alma mater, Notre Dame College in South Euclid, Ohio. We're a private liberal arts college created in the image of the Sisters of Notre Dame. Our motto here is changing the world one student at a time. And our mission statement revolves around educating a diverse population in professional, personal, and global responsibility. When consulting my research for this presentation and the leadership styles I observed in private institutions, the first leadership style that popped into my mind was transformational leadership. This is a recent leadership style that we've learned about in our EDUC 611 course. This leadership style encompasses the ability of employees to feel as though they are cared for in the workplace and as though they are being pushed past their limit to provide a product that they normally wouldn't get to unless they were driven, unless they were motivated by their leadership or their leadership team. This leadership style is very leader focused, allowing the leader to develop their own parameters and capabilities that they are comfortable in doing. This way, employees can start to feel that transactional relationship between leader and employee so that they don't feel left out of whatever the planning process may look like. When consulting weaknesses of the transformational style of leadership, it on paper is almost too broad. There is no way to actually pinpoint what constructs make up this form of leadership. There was an excerpt that I quoted in my paper out of the European Management Journal stating that it may be possible that transformational leaders are more effective for project success in collectivism cultures or individualized projects or things that are just focused around one topic rather than trying to produce something on a broader spectrum because of their ability to care so highly for others and their individualized consideration towards team orientation. This weakness could be rooted in the leadership style's focus on developing the leader rather than the productivity of the team. The next leadership style that I observed in my research on private institutions was the autocratic leadership style, or what's known as the my way or the highway approach. This leadership style involves the leader having full authority over the workplace and the decision-making process. Because of this, it often leaves employees feeling left out, ignored, and as though their wants and desires can be answered elsewhere. Although the autocratic leadership style has its faults, it also has some really great strengths in the fact that it is a very goal-oriented approach. This style of leadership focuses on the leader being a figurehead and the rest of the team just cascading down from there. Autocratic leaders are known to give their subordinates or employees very clear and concise instructions, allowing products to be produced in a timely and correct manner. There are weaknesses to the autocratic leadership style that lie within its inability to inspire employees in the workplace. Thus, employees become disconnected and have less confidence in the work that they're doing, which is why I've previously stated that most employees tend to just look for alternate opportunities elsewhere as though they feel they will belong there. The autocratic leadership style actually coincides with what I found to be the most common organizational structure at private institutions, which is hierarchical. This type of leadership structure involves a figurehead at the top and everything just cascading down from there, again, being on a need-to-know basis. This is how my organization is ran. Here we have the Board of Trustees, and then from the Board of Trustees, that funnels down into the president funnels down into the VPs funnel down into their departments, and so forth, leaving the students at the bottom being the last to find out the information. This leadership structure works well with both leadership styles that I identified, but the autocratic leadership style has found to be the more prominent one in this form of structure. When looking at the roles of leaders or leadership teams in these leadership styles that we've already mentioned, transformational leaders are often found to be reassuring, willing to provide positive feedback, fostering a good sense of community and belonging for their employees, and pushing them past that boundary to produce a product that they didn't even believe they were capable of doing, which leaves a lasting impact on these employees. Whereas autocratic leaders are often found to be just task-oriented and transferring information down through their employees when necessary. These leaders tend to be more reserved and not so focused on team or community atmosphere as much as they are on due dates and procedures. Additionally, an article I consulted during my research stated that the functions of authoritarian or autocratic leadership include rulemaking, task assignment, and problem solving when necessary. Autocratic leaders are not designed to foster community, rather to produce quickly and efficiently. I took this a step further and even assigned some positions at private institutions to leaders of these styles that I thought would fit them best. For transformational leadership, I selected a position in the DEI committee or DEI center because diversity, equity, and inclusion is something that is rooted in providing a safe and welcoming community for students or employees of all different backgrounds. Whereas for an autocratic leader, I believe I would pick something more like a vice president of a department, communicating on a need-to-know basis, being the seen person at all of the meetings, and just making sure your team's getting done what it needs to get done. Now that we've arrived at closing remarks, I'm just going to close with a quick summary. Through this presentation, I hope that I've been able to give you a little bit more information on some leadership styles and some leadership structures and how those pieces fit together in private institutions. A little bit more about two different styles of leadership, the transformational and autocratic leaderships, although vastly different, work well in an institution like this. And I believe that speaks to the viability of these institutions, because even though these leadership styles are run two completely different ways, these institutions are still open for a reason. I'd even go out on a limb and say that my institution possesses both of these leadership styles, and we're just as successful as the next school. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Thank you.